Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whenever you're watching this video, and truly a 2020 back to school night uh, like no other. Uh, as a student of history, I feel like we're going to look back on recordings like this for back to school night as a good example of some primary resources from this crazy year. And I am here to help your child become a student of history and appreciate things like that. My name is Mr. Galloway, and I teach AP US History at Cardinal Gibbons High School. And I am incredibly grateful to call myself a teacher and to be at Cardinal Gibbons. I absolutely love doing what I do. I love coming to work every day. And quite frankly, I'm very grateful that I have a work to come to every day, that it's not just me in this room here like it was all last spring recording lectures, that we have an opportunity to get together back on campus. And so it's obviously been, again, some primary records being created here of people walk by our classroom and take pictures of us in masks. Uh, but here we are, and very grateful. Um, I also love teaching history. I love teaching American history. Um, but we're at a time where, with respect to the pandemic and the social issues in front of us, history teachers in particular have been asked to reconsider the lenses that they use, that we use to teach the American story. And so I am here to take a college board curriculum that is oftentimes a mile wide, but only an inch deep. And I am here to dig a little bit deeper. We are not here to have your students recite, list, define, okay? We are here so that your students in AP history can weave the narrative that is American history and, yes, can wrestle with the uncomfortable truths of American history while we are at it. There is a great story to be told. There are some dark truths to be uncovered, and there is nuanced analysis to be done about both the great truths and the dark stories. And so we will get our hands busy with, or dirty, I should say, right, while we're busy with analysis and detecting bias and understanding points of view and again the nuance as we weave the story. And that's what I tell my students all the time. If we can weave the narrative, okay, then we can apply that knowledge to the breaking down of documents and the dirty hands that we need to have as we learn to think like historians. I also think some of that wrestling with the uncomfortable nature of history is incumbent upon us at a Catholic school, where the theme of justice and righteousness should be at the forefront of our minds, no matter what curriculum that we're digging into. I invite my parents to come along with us for the ride here throughout this school year. I had mentioned that, yes, with respect to current social movements, history teachers in particular need to think about how we are going to re-examine, at the very least, or re-question our curriculum. But all teachers in this pandemic mode are being forced to kind of reconcile how we communicate, how we gather and publish our information, and how we communicate that information to both our students and our parents. And so we've taken an opportunity, I think, as a school-wide community, as only Gibbons really does, or at least Gibbons does better than others, I think, to streamline some of our communication and to ask our educators to really be concise and explicit in terms of, can our students get everything that they need, everything that we want for them to have to be successful in our classroom? And so the screen I'm sharing with you right now is the final site, and it looks familiar to you probably this year more so even than in other years, because we all have a somewhat uniform look to our websites. What I would like to draw your attention to, so that you will never have any questions about, hey, what exactly are you doing in Mr. Galloway's class? This class bulletin here from the center column, that will be updated on a daily basis with exactly what we're doing in class each and every day. They'll often have the bulletin entries, that is, will often have hyperlinks within them to send them to watch this video or complete this quiz or do this assignment. So you'll get a really good sense of what we're doing every day in class by just going to the bulletin. Our students know that the first thing they have to do every single day is open the bulletin, okay? And that's whether they're gold or green, remote or live. All the information they need for that class, all the instructions they need for that class are right there. I would also like to probably point out here the Google Drive. I've made that shift this year in terms of how we're kind of collecting and disseminating information to become, I guess, a Google guy. So everything we're doing there, I invite you. That Google Drive is wide open to anyone who has the link. Explore it. You can see our lesson plans. Our students, if they miss a class, can go through that day's PowerPoint or Google Slides for that matter. And say, I'm making that shift, right? Watch the screen recorded video, something like this, if they missed class that day. This video itself is going to be over here. It's already linked to your final site. So this is going to be a record that the students can use or parents can use. Hey, I missed back to school night. But please follow along. Check out the bulletin. Check out the Google Drive. You can check out the S'more and some of the other resources here. But more than anything, know that I love this work. I'm very excited to be back in the classroom with your kids this year. I'm excited to open their eyes to all sorts of multiple perspectives on history that we think we know. I'm excited to see them get their hands dirty with the documents. I'm excited to see them engage in this analysis. And I'm excited to see them wrestle with history that's uncomfortable. We're going to dig a little bit deeper this year than maybe even in previous years. You know, as we travel that mile-wide river, we're going to continue to dig deep. So it should be an awesome year. In closing, I would also say to you that one of the reasons I have to recognize that students take this class is because they have an opportunity to earn college credit at the end of the year. That is one of those things that is a point of success, absolutely. But it's like, do the little things that it takes to be successful, and success will take care of itself. So I tell my kids all year long, trust the process, do the work, keep on working, dig deeper, ask the tough questions, get this stuff done, engage, okay? Talk about it, weave the narrative, okay? And if we can do that, those test scores at the end of the year, they're going to take care of themselves. I don't want to brag here, but I have a pretty good track record of preparing my students to achieve success on the College Board exam. This year will be no different. Trust the process. We're going to get there. I'm looking forward to a great year. If any of you parents need to reach me at any time, my email address is easily accessible, but it's galloway@cghsnc.org. Again, looking forward to an awesome year, and looking forward to meeting you when we are back in, as they say, normal times. Thanks a lot. Take care. Go Crusaders.